Neo is a public blockchain platform that was founded in 2014 under the name AntShares. Over the last 5 years, Neo has grown to become one of the most well-known blockchain infrastructures in the world. Neo focuses on combining smart contracts with digital assets and digital identity to enable a new smart economy and aims to become one of the pillars of the next generation internet. October 17th, 2019 marks 3 years since the launch of the Neo mainnet. Although Neo was founded in China, the project heavily leans on its global community for development. It has attracted some of the best minds from academia, as well as engineers from industry giants such as Microsoft and Facebook. Many people within the general Neo community are familiar with founders Da Hongfei and Eric Zhang. Lesser known, however, is that the Neo Global Development Office in Shanghai employs around 50 staff across half a dozen departments, working to support Neo's global community and the growth of its ecosystem. Neo News Today visited the NGD Shanghai office in September 2019 and had the chance to meet some of the other NGD staff who work behind the scenes. Grace Gui is one of the longest-serving Neo team members in Shanghai. After beginning with the project as a marketing assistant, Grace rose through the ranks and now works for the Neo Foundation alongside Hongfei, Eric, and technologist Stephen Liu. The Neo Foundation works out of the NGD Shanghai office and is responsible for determining the strategies executed by Neo Global Development, as well as distributing funding to Neo's global community development groups.
Hi, I'm Grace. I'm Communications Manager of Neo Foundation. My role is communicate to different groups. We know that Neo has a quite big community distributed around the world. My daily job is to have different phone calls to different groups actually. You will see my calendars. It will be many weekly meetings or bi-weekly meetings or monthly meetings.
Grace explains how the Neo Shanghai operations have grown and matured during her time at the project.
We know that now our Shanghai office, we have new global development, and it is in implementation branch of New Foundation to make all the strategies to work better. And my first job actually is in New Global Development, but at that time it's called New Council, because we've experienced different reorg in different period of time. And when it is New Council, it's a small group. We had a much smaller office like here. And then we reorg to New Global Foundation. At that time, we have different departments like marketing, like BD. But we still, it's a small team. It means maybe in this department, we only have like 2 to 3 employees, that kind of team scale. And later on, we have our team grows much bigger. And at the time, maybe each department will have like 5 to 10 employees, something like that. And when we have a more mature team structure, we realize we can do more. So it is more well organized, and the direction and the decision may be more clear and can help the community better compared to the past.
One of the departments that benefited from the reorganization and team growth was marketing. The marketing team is now led by Yuan Gao, who took over from Grace when she was promoted to the Neo Foundation.
My name is Yuan Gao. My role at NGD is the marketing director. So currently there are 8 people in marketing department. I'm looking after more on the PR side and on the content side. So in the content team, there are 2 people. So Adam, who just joined our team, he's overseeing all the content editing and publishing in different channels. And Alyssa, she just graduated from university. She's working with Adam to deliver contents. On the PR side, we have 2 colleagues. Stacy is working on Chinese media mainly. And Gina, she's also a new employee, just joined our team 2 months ago. She's working more towards the international media side and also like mainstream media from Western countries. And Charlene is overseeing the event side of the business. So there are 2 colleagues on the event team. Xizai is overseeing events in China, and Songping is looking looking after events overseas. And they are also collaborating with communities, like managing and moderating community channels like Telegram, Discord, and etc. So that's basically the setup of marketing team. And we also have 2 very lovely lady, Doria and Xiaoli. She's our designers. So they have been working very hard to trying to improve our visual assets, like posters and also templates on social media right now.
One of the tasks facing the Neo marketing team is how to take a global project founded in China and deliver its message to people all over the world with different languages, cultures, and backgrounds. Neo has held numerous events across Asia, Europe, North America, South America, and Australia in an effort to spread awareness of the project and onboard more developers. Song Ping is in charge of events outside of China, as well as moderating Neo's online social channels.
Okay, so my name is Song Ping Xue, and my role in NGD is Community Operations Specialist. I'm in the marketing team. I think the global scene and the localization, it's an advantage and meanwhile a challenge. You don't feel that difference that much when you do online community because basically everyone involved in the Neo project speak fluent English, so there's no problem to communicate. But once like we get into that place, for example, we host meetup locally, then the difference actually will pop up.
I think deep down, the essence of marketing is working with people, trying to deliver the message and then convince them to join your effort. So I think culture is a very big issue here because in China, in Japan, or in other Western countries, the mentality is quite different. So we have been hosting events locally at those countries, but how we approach them and what's the most important aspects or the value proposition for different people at different countries is quite different. So how to acknowledge that difference and trying to, but at the same time trying to deliver news message is a very challenging task for me.
For example, we just had we participated a conference in Vietnam last month, I think, and we also host a meetup. And when those they're like Neo fans come to our meetups, you can still sense the strong difference. First of all, the language. Like communicate online is one thing, communicate in person is totally different. And the way how they understand Neo, it's also different. Like you can feel it when it's personally.
On the technical side, Neo's development is driven by its global community, led by a team of core developers from Europe, South America, Asia, and elsewhere. However, NGD Shanghai features 4 research and development departments designed to support these efforts, giving contributors access to bleeding-edge knowledge and helping guide the project's overall strategy. These departments include the Consensus and Protocol Department, which focuses on theoretical problems such as those surrounding consensus, voting, and economic incentives. The Research Department, which is in charge of staying up to date on the latest technologies such as cross-chain and Layer 2, and advising Neo on which new areas to explore. The Testing Department, which is concerned with finding bugs in the Neo code and fixing them as quickly as possible. And the Full Stack Department, which focuses on the layers above the NEO protocol, such as development tools, infrastructure, and platform integrations. Long Fei is a member of the full stack team.
So my name is Long Fei 1, and I work as a developer with the whole team over here. And our job is, we basically have a full team of us, and we're doing research, we're doing testing, and we're developing on the NEO protocol, and then we're providing the tools, we're supporting the project who wants to build on NEO. I work on the full stack, it's called full stack. So what we do is we work on the project above the NEO protocol. So what I mean is, like the other group, they're working to build the core feature for NEO, but we provide the best development experience for the other project. We're working to make sure that the whole community have the tools that the project will need to build on NEO. Basically, we hope that we can cover the most use case, the most tools for them to use. Otherwise, they're gonna build on something on NEO, but they don't have the right tools to do it. So that's the part of our job. And then we're also assisting the project who wants to build on NEO, because now we know that the blockchain or even NEO is at a very early stage. Maybe we don't have enough documentation, we don't have enough knowledge center to support them. Like if they go to Google, if we search how to develop something with Java, you get tons of questions, tons of answers for it. But for NEO, for blockchain, we don't. So we also provide them the technical support that we can. And then also we take those knowledge and then hopefully to become a knowledge center for NEO side. So we want to, we want to expand the knowledge center, including the technical documents, the FAQs, and the tutorials, everything based on what we've learned from developing tools for helping the projects.
Much like the marketing team, the R&D team is required to coordinate with people all over the world, a task Long Fei revels in.
Something that's fun working with NGD is we have to communicate with the community, with you guys, with new research, especially for my team as a full stack. We talk to projects, we talk to communities, and we also communicate through NEO Foundation. So that's something fun for us day-to-day life to communicate with people around the world.
These international collaborations were given a boost in September 2019 when NEO held its first ever Community Assembly, or NCA, at the NGD Shanghai office. Representatives from development communities such as COZ, New Econolabs, NGD Seattle, NEO Research, NEO One, NEO SPCC, Next, Niao3J, Red4Sec, and AlienWorks all descended upon Shanghai for a week of intensive debate and discussions on NEO's development.
Good evening, everyone. It's my great pleasure to welcome you to this pre-event reception of our very first NEO Community Assembly on behalf of NEO Foundation and also NEO Global Development. I believe there are two ways to strengthen the connection between NEO Foundation, NGD, and the community. By reaching out and by bringing in. To reach out, we held DevCon, NEO DevCon in San Francisco and Seattle consecutively in the last 2 years. And also we did meetups in European, Asia Pacific, and also American countries. And we attended dozens of different industry conferences in all major markets. But now I think it's time to bring people in, to bring you guys in to Shanghai, to the place we live, to see and feel how the people from the foundation, from NGD, how they work, and to feel, to get the feeling of the Chinese culture and the life here in Shanghai, in China.
The first 3 days of the NCA featured scheduled presentations, sharing sessions, and discussion topics, while days 4 and 5 included a press conference and open time for groups to organise further meetings outside of the pre-planned activities. With the next iteration of NEO on the horizon, NEO 3, The event was designed to achieve multiple goals.
So why do we do the community assembly? I think we have several objectives. I summarized it into 4 objectives. The first one is to discuss some critical technical topics, like the architecture of New 3 and how do we migrate from current New 2 to the New 3. The second one is to share what we did in the past and also some new ideas. And the third objective is definitely to know each other, to put everyone under one roof so we can talk, so we can communicate, so we know who is who. And last but not least is to drink, eat, and experience. Yeah. If you are a drinker, I urge you definitely try the Mao Tai. That's, or in Chinese we call it baijiu or white alcohol or Chinese liquor.
The response to the NCA from the NEO development community was overwhelmingly positive. There was a sense across the board that NEO had taken a huge leap forward, both in decision-making and technical progress, in addition to the cohesiveness between the different groups.
Okay, I was very happy to come to Shanghai to this community assembly because it's an opportunity like to visit the company here that runs NEO, the foundation itself, and to know many people that we only know from internet, from discussions, from the GitHub discussions of the platform. It's very important. The platform itself includes people from all around the world, so this is interesting. It's like a worldwide platform, and it's an opportunity to meet people and also to visit this city that I liked a lot. I really liked Shanghai. I had a very good impression, and only good things. Sure.
Well, I think that this assembly of the community members is doing a great job of making people comfortable with discussions, because when you don't know people face to face, maybe you read some text and you apply your mentality, your feelings to that text, and this guy is against my ideas, but it's not about that. So here we had many heated discussions and we were all smiling at the same time. So this was a big win for me, because I think that open source development always has like this many people with different opinions, and since it's just text, you may think that people don't like me for some reason, they don't accept my opinion, and when you are here, it's not about this, it's about something else. So this is great.
Yeah, it's great. A lot of discussions, you know. It's the community assembly. We had some very hot discussions, some very light discussions. It's a balance. A lot of beer as well, of course. You know, like a lot of Chinese food, which was great. But so there are like some future directions that we talked here. Some more, for NEO 3.0, for example, but also for the infrastructure layer of NEO. I think we're gonna do a great work. I was a bit impressed on people's ideas, what they're gonna bring forward. People are very motivated, in my opinion. So that shows a very great thing for the community.
And also, I think it's very motivating, but mostly because the team is really awesome. Like the guys here, they are really dense people with very large brains, and it's good to see that the solutions are real. Like there's no speculation. People are talking about real solutions with diagrams, with mathematics, etc. So it's very impressive, because since they have this whiteboard, they can like draw the solution and redraw it and listen to the opinions in a very, very fast manner. So the delta between the message that in GitHub is like, one message every 2 days. Here, we're like, you say something, the other guy says something, and we already got into really complex solutions in like much shorter time. Like we are having discussions for 1 year. We come here and discuss, and in the evening we just have it done.
I think what will end up being the most significant thing that comes out of this is learning how we work better together, like how to work better together, right? We're learning that we have all these different viewpoints, and maybe we need to have more communication across, we're here only for a week. That doesn't mean like we go back to our little hidey holes in the next, I go back to Seattle and just sit there and do only Neo 1 stuff. It's like now I see all these ways that I can get involved with what the NGD Seattle guys are doing, or how to collaborate with Neo SPCC on integrating that into Neo 1, that sort of thing. So I wouldn't say that it's necessarily, I couldn't really pick one topic necessarily. It's more of a kind of abstract, like we were learning how to be a better community.
Although Neo was one of the earliest smart contract platforms, many other competitors have emerged in recent years. However, Neo does not believe in a scenario where one blockchain rules all and foresees a future where blockchains are interoperable and can communicate with each other. For this reason, it prefers to apply the same spirit of open collaboration and sharing to the broader blockchain industry as it does at the community level.
I think it's absolutely some discussion, absolutely some competition among us. And then also some part of a collaboration we see with them. For example, we align with the Ontology to build a cross-chain platform with other blockchain companies. And then we're also talking with Polkadot, and we're hoping that if there's a possibility, we can have a bridge between us. So the competition is there, but also there's something that we can learn from each other. We can actually collaborate with each other. I would say Ethereum is absolutely number one on the top of the list. So we can stand out, compete with them, and we can also learn from them. So what's the things that Ethereum is doing that we can learn, and what the EOS is doing we can learn from them. So it's not like we have to compete with them, but we just compete we compete positively, and then move forward. So we don't really have a bias against any blockchain, especially developer from that region. And we're very happy to share, maybe we hide the struggle a little bit, but we'll definitely share the experience and what they're doing as long as they can tell.
If Neo is to be successful long term, it's not enough to just have great technical foundations. The project also needs to have a flourishing ecosystem. This includes applications building upon the platform, as well as support from infrastructure such as exchanges, wallets, and explorers, and access to media outlets, communities, and users. This is the major concern of NGD's EcoGrowth department, led by John Wong.
Okay, so my English name is John Wang, and my Chinese name is Jia Chao Wang. Yeah, and my role in Neo is I'm the head of the Neo EcoGrowth, and I'm also the managing director of the Neo Eco Fund. Yeah, so this department is mostly focused on the Neo ecosystem and help the project and all the ecosystem relative to the project to growing. Mm-hmm. Yeah. The EcoGrowth team currently do have the full-time staff is nine full-time staff, and 7 staff is in Shanghai, and we do have 2 staff in overseas. One is in Switzerland and one in Korea.
Dennis is a member of the EcoGrowth staff and one of the team members charged with outreach to new projects and potential partners.
Hey, I'm Dennis. So I work as a manager at Ecosystem Growth. My role includes talking to many projects out there at different stages and inviting them to work on Neo using our blockchain. So there are different parts to that, like finding the teams, finding projects, reaching out to them. Sometimes it's not too easy to find the right people, talking to them, and then introducing Neo and introducing what we can offer, and then saying, hey, just would you like to join us?
And also we also do believe have lots of the people and lots of the project that they are really like the Neo. Mm-hmm. As my personal experience, I traveling lots in the global, and I find lots of the interesting and it's and the people who has talent. They know the Neo for a very long time, so they also come to us and discussing with us any opportunity, they can contribute for the Neo ecosystem. Mm-hmm. And find the way we will find a way together how we can working together.
One of the most well-known initiatives under the care of the EcoGrowth team is the EcoBoost program, backed by a US $100 million fund and announced by Da Hongfei at Consensus in May 2019. The EcoBoost program is a long-term plan to build a network of partners that can be connected with ecosystem projects to provide full lifecycle support in areas such as liquidity, publicity, development, and distribution. John is quick to point out that despite the $100 million war chest, the program isn't just about handing out money, but instead, it's about providing assistance to projects where they need it most.
For the Neo EcoBoost, it is a program like we're trying to support the project more efficiency. As I said, it's like because the reason is on 2017 and 2018, I realized like the most support Neo provided to the community is mostly the fund. But we are a public blockchain already in this world for nearly 4 years. So my feeling is like lots of new projects, they come to the blockchain, but they don't know blockchain. They may funding lots of money, but they do not have a good relationship with like the exchange. They do not have a good relationship with the blockchain media, and so they looks like a baby. Like they needed the people to help them. So that's why we started. So we don't want to support a project like 1 month or 2 months and then just leave it growing. So we wanted to give them like a long-term support. So it's gonna be including like the funding. It's including like the media. It's including like the distribution, the product distribution. So, and we also wanted to like to sharing the experience with us. Like we evaluate their project and tell them like what kind of support you're supposed to have. So I told all the team members like our goal is to serve people, to serve the project, to help them. Don't consider like you are the people like just give people the money, give people the support. You're definitely not. It's not the right way to make the friends with everyone. So you should tell the community, you should tell the people like the Neo is very friendly, the blockchain. So we do have resource, but we use it very carefully. And we are really like to support the people. Maybe we cannot support you like by your way. Yeah, but I wanted to apologize like, but we already do our best. I'm not lying, like I'm working like 16 hours per day. You can ask everyone in here, like you can check my WeChat, like yeah, it's true, like I only sleep like 5 hours per day. Yeah, yeah.
Working long or irregular hours is a recurring theme amongst the NGD Shanghai staff. Nearly all of the team members we spoke to cited Timezones as an area in which they needed to maintain flexibility in order to serve the global community.
Right, so some of the challenges in working in a global project based here in Shanghai, it's time zones.
I should say Shanghai is in the middle. It means in the morning you are talking to your colleagues in the office, but your work may start in the afternoon because at that time the European communities just got up and you start the day with the European community, and when you go back home it's the time for Americans.
Just imagine that people we need to communicate, which is located in the United States and with in the Europe and Brazil. So sometimes it's like you don't have a meeting at 11 o'clock in the morning. You probably have a meeting in the evening. That's just time difference.
When you want to coordinate a meeting, and you want to set up a meeting, and you have to consider, there's people in Europe, probably like 6 or 8 hours, but like people in States, they're like 12 or 14 hours. It's like it's gonna be challenge for some team inevitably. So I guess it's kind of like the challenges and people have to compromise.
One thing that varied amongst team members was the reasons for their commitment to Neo and what excited them most about Neo's future and the future of the blockchain industry.
The most exciting thing I will expect from Neo, I should say, now the team and the community is closer than ever before, and we are aligned in the same direction, and a lot of new ideas can easily be shared in the whole community. I think it's very, it's very exciting because in that case we will have more brains and more new ideas will come. Even though the competition nowadays is more fierce than 2 years ago when 2 years ago or even earlier, but the people are still here together with us, and we will have new communities joining the group and more apps built on the platform. It seems that we are still promising, even though we are one of the earliest projects in the world.
What's more interesting and really interesting now is Neo 3 that we're building. And then why Neo 3 is very interesting is we starting to move to another period that not just one blockchain is working, and then it's like a bunch of blockchain, especially in 2019 that Cosmos came out, and then now Polkadot is also coming out pretty soon, and Neo is moving towards the direction to be able to interact with other blockchain, and that's something very interesting. My personally very interesting, very excited about to see the blockchain world united to the one through different interoperability protocols. Yeah.
I think what excites me is every time when go to a conference or host a meetup, like people come to us and ask different questions. Like you can sense like they probably don't know Neo well or they haven't, but they really have the passion and like they're really eager, and everyone knows like somehow blockchain is gonna change the world, but people are looking for exactly how and when. Like I can feel it's a process. We're helping somehow like something is still taking in the shape. I feel really excited and being part of it.
So I think, so first thing, I have a great confidence about the future of the industry. I think blockchain is going to be the financial infrastructure for the future. I think decentralization, privacy, those are very important issues in the future, and blockchain is trying to tackle that problem. So deep down, I think that's the basic fundamental that drive my belief of blockchain. And why Neo is excited? So I think there are several things. So working for a startup usually means that you are dealing with actually a smaller group of people, but at Neo the experience is quite different. So I get the chance to work with people globally, like in Europe, in Asia, and also in the States. So that experience alone is very exciting for me. And trying to see so how the ideas come true, and how to tackle the difficulties and make it happen. So I think there is nothing like major, but like the day-to-day work, every task you accomplish, so that build up to my confidence and to my the sense of belonging at Neo. Yeah.
Ultimately, if Neo achieves its goal of mass adoption and decentralization, a future may exist where Neo global development is no longer needed to nurture the platform or support the ecosystem. Instead, by virtue of its success alone, Neo could attract all the resources it needs to drive development, draw investment to projects, and govern the platform on-chain. John believes that with or without NGD, Neo has already inspired enough belief from its community to sustain it long into the future.
I think if one day the NGD can become like, no matter it exists or not, it's both is a good thing for Neo. So my feeling is like even now, like all the people in China related with the Neo disappear. The Neo still gonna be exist in this world. So maybe compare Ethereum, the NEO not such decentralized, but the NEO already become a symbol, like the people consider it's a technology or the thing like they can believe. So maybe in the future the NEO become very big. The NGD is maybe renamed, maybe disappear. Who knows? Maybe in the future, like 10 years later, like the robot will gonna be control the whole world, and they just treating with the different tokens. Yes, who knows? Like yeah. So maybe the Bitcoin gonna be the most important thing for the robot. But I believe like NEO won't be disappear. Like it's because people already talking about like the how to do the consensus, like how. I think like the most important thing for the public blockchain is not technical. It's more important is like the concept. How many people believe this blockchain? How many people trust it? Because in my day-by-day job, I've been in different countries. Yes, for the developers, we can talking about so many technical things, but I think developers only like the 2% or 3%. For in any community, like the other like the 90% people, they just believe like you are the reliable, like your technology is trying to make the better thing. So what I believe is like. In the future, like no matter NGD existing or not, but the NEO will be there. My expectation is like I hope like the one day the NEO don't need the NGD. NEO don't need like the people actually can running it. But it also depends on this social. It's not that only depends like how hard working us. It's maybe some depending on the government policy, like the relationship with different countries. But I do believe it's the future.